after the first edition of Eifel Musik und Kunst Festival last year. After this, I would say, was a very nice, great success we had for the first year. We all, including me, were very curious about how to go on with the concept, with the next program, with the next festival, because I saw us both starting from the scratch, starting with the idea making a festival with friends, for friends, small, intimate, and while doing the work, the concept work, preparing the first edition, it was getting very exciting, and suddenly we had a theme called Home and the World, inspired by Tagore, kind of developing this program by actually doing the work. It was a development on the path, on the way. We ended up with a really special first edition, and we were all curious how you would go on, how you would follow this line, follow this idea, putting more in, different things in, and we kind of took a year off, had small concert, not a big festival this year, 2017, 18, going now for 2019 with a concept, and we are all very curious, what have you been doing during the last month, and I saw you working hard, getting informed, getting informations from all over the place, and please can you let us know what's coming now?
Yeah, so the theme that you mentioned that we ended up developing, Home in the World, is, I'm Westernly classically trained, but obviously I'm Indian, so I have been going back to my Indian roots, learning Indian music, and I'm finding a beauty in the seed of it, that both contain the same seed, although the outside is dressed differently. And I know that you and I are quite passionate about deconditioning people's hearing and wanting to relearn the art of listening, so it's fresh. People are totally present when they're listening. They're not putting things into boxes, genres. So, yeah, with Home in the World, then I sort of started picking at this thread a bit, and then this thread ended up being a giant ball of beautiful, intricate tapestry, the entirety of the music of humanity, basically, and from 40,000 years ago to now. And there are, basically ways that all cultures since the beginning of, documented records that we have used music. It's acoustic signals, gestures for spirituality, for rituals, mating rituals, for love, just for the beauty of music itself, for creativity. So yeah, I spent, if you were there, I spent like 4 months sleeping for 1 hour a night, because there's so much there just to take in, from 40,000 years ago to reading the Samavedas, to going back into Egyptian music and Syrian music, and then of course Western music with polyphony coming into play. And really exploring what different cultures, how they use music and how they perceive sound. Sound being the energy of creative power as seen upon matter, basically. And what I discovered was that this sound basically acts in 7 fundamental ways.
Exactly. Sorry to interrupt. Yeah. I saw you working very hard, and I thought, where is this going? She's reading all the myths, all the Bible, the Bhagavad Gita, going through the Vedic stuff, and then stuff I never heard before about really ancient wisdom, all connected basically to sound and music. Mm-hmm. It seems that it's a very deep desire of all of us to create sound for
Yeah.
every purpose of life. So it's a deep layer in us to produce sound and to express ourselves through
That's
sounds and music.
Right.
So I wonder now how, with this, huge amount of informations and knowledge you took into yourself, how are you able to put this into a festival, into a program? I mean, you have to limit it somehow that it must make sense. So what is the final result of all your
Right,
research?
so yeah, I was pretty overwhelmed for about 2 months with all this information, and I couldn't think of anything. Then suddenly I realized, reading all this material and discovering myself through personal experiences and that there are 7 fundamental ways that sound acts upon matter. And 7, if you look in the phenomenal world from earliest records of humanity to now, 7 is a unifying number everywhere. It is a phenomenon of the world that we live in. And of course there are 7 notes in the scale, 7 grammars in Indian music. There are 7 notes in each mode. And each tone with having a relationship with the other is fascinating, because it's how it affects us and what it does to us, and how we hear and how we feel and how we act, how it affects us, our actions even. So, then I came up with the 7 veils of music.
So what does it mean?
The 7 veils of music is, so per year we'll go through each tone. So next year we actually do silence, the sound. 2020 will be ground, the top tone, and then 21, the second, third, fourth, fifth. So we go through each one, and we're really exploring how it affects us. And actually, this is the great thing about it. By going it from this angle, there aren't even genres in music, because it's all together. That's what I found. It's just not important
I understand you right. So we look at a certain number from a variety of
absolutely
views. So the
Yeah.
scientific view, the spiritual view, what the actual
music.
number means to music. I mean, me as a classical musician, of course, Western educated, are always thinking of Bach's Zahlensymbolik, how we
Right.
say it in German. So this is all coming in. Then, of course, the
Absolutely.
mystic second symphony, a second string quartet,
Medicinal as well.
then the ensemble, a duo, 2 people coming together, or maybe a singer and a piano. So all kinds of things. The duality, black and white, east and west. So all this is coming in
This
number
all
2.
comes in a melting pot, and we really start to rediscover music and understand the power of tone. And by tone, I mean each thing. I mean, even you have a 1 tone capacity, so it's one life, which is the cycle itself. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and it repeats itself. So yeah, I mean, each year we explore the relationship of the interval to us, to the world that we perceive.
So this next year we start with from the silence to tone. So kind of from the sound comes into the world,
Silence and
understanding
cosmic resonance.
and seeing, still feeling the silence as kind of as a sound already.
Right.
The no sound is sound already.
Right.
And this going to be, we have special artists, kind of
Fantastic
really, and
artists.
composers. I mean, I'm coming with my Minget quartet. We are doing the Nono, which is Stille an die Jotima, where he's composing silence, kind of. And the difficulties how to compose silence, we might look at the score, we talk about it. Then of course Markus
Markus
Stockhausen is
Stockhausen.
coming, who is since years now doing intuitive music.
Silence and
With them
singing,
in
yeah.
kind of exploring the
Absolutely.
silence,
Yeah.
and then the sound is coming into the silence.
And then we have a fantastic guy called John Stuart Reid, who invented the cymoscope.
Yeah.
And he, when you make sound, you can see the patterns on water. And he was explaining to me that actually it's not a wave, sound wave, it's a sphere, and it goes in and out. Anyway, so he made a fantastic experiment on blood. So we're going to hear from him about
Yeah.
how music affects the blood.
Great.
Then we have
Sufi,
Aisha.
you have
sorry,
Aisha Salem.
We have Aisha Salem, who's a mystic.
Yes, we have the Sufi singer.
Right.
We have the Sufi singer. We have, of course, our Indian friends coming in, Devashish,
Yeah.
Shubha joining us.
Stefan Brings.
Stefan Brings.
Yeah.
We just had a wonderful concert, first performance concert
band,
with him
yeah.
to combine genres. Aditya doing featuring Stefan Brings.
And he did a fabulous job with the Vivaldi. Basso continuo.
Yeah, great basso continuo
Yeah,
player.
yeah.
So it's going to be exciting
Yeah.
to have the first edition,
We're-
and we welcome, as we're going to be the hosts again, of course, at Ikedu Home Festival. So we thank you for these informations, and I hope we see a lot of audience joining us, because we really enjoy the
Absolutely.
giving and receiving from our audience, and we
They're
hope to see.
positive. It's not one without them.
Exactly. We hope to see you there. Thank you for listening. Hope to see you soon.